Hello everybody. My name is Kathrine Viehl. I graduated from Lake-Sumter. I went to the Leesburg campus, and I transferred to UCF in 2017 in the fall. And I graduated with my bachelor's in biology and environmental studies in May of 2020. So, yep. But as for like my experience at Lake-Sumter, I mainly I was there for quite a while. I took my time because financial situations were kind of hard on me. So I mainly focused on figuring out what I wanted to do with my life, because when I was in high school, most anybody, I didn't have much of an idea of my direction. So when I got to Lake-Sumter, I took my time in trying to figure it out and, you know, see what worked for me. I got involved in the STEM club on campus, which at the time Bethany was the leader of. And I was the treasurer of that right before I graduated and transferred to the UCF. But I'm happy to answer any questions or,
So what was the application process like, Katherine? When you applied, were there things that took you by surprise, or did you have to go to a lot of places to kind of figure out a document? Can you walk us through that initial application process?
Sure. So with the application process, I tried to get started on it early, which I feel like is the best thing you can do, is get started on it right when it opens, right when you can get on that. Because a lot of the things that I encountered were just time-consuming little problems that, they can be easily solved, but, you need to have the time to work on them. So one of the problems that I encountered personally was vaccination records. You have to have all this health stuff that you bring when you transfer to the University of Central Florida. And it was a little bit difficult because I wasn't sure, where to bring them, how to get them. I didn't have a family doctor at the time, so it was definitely something I had to dig for, and it took probably about a month. So I think it's important to make sure that you have all of your documents in order. I'm not sure if you guys have like any kind of a checklist online to get documents, that kind of thing, but there are definitely some surprises.
So a student asked, did the Direct Connect allow for an easy transition with your application, or were there other challenges that you experienced, especially with registering and, that first semester there at UCF?
Yeah, so Direct Connect actually made it incredibly easy. I had no credits that didn't transfer. There wasn't any issues like my transcript didn't get held up somewhere. I know some of the people I entered into the university with, like transfer peers that came from out of state colleges, they had a lot of trouble with their classes transferring. But it seemed like when I came, everything was great. All I had to do was submit my last semester's transcript after my classes were graded, and they accepted it, I think, within like 3 days. So yeah, it was really easy. As for like challenges, with the transfer process itself, especially with Direct Connect, I didn't have any kind of issues.
What about with the class differences compared to the class sizes, expectations, maybe as projects and assignments? Can you talk about that difference?
Oh yeah. So I found that a lot of the professors at the university level, most of them were just like, the professors at Lake-Sumter. They're pretty down to earth. They're there to help you and they want you to succeed. There are some, just a few bad apples in the bunch, but I'm sure that's with any university or any program. There's going to be some that they're all high and mighty and, but as for the class sizes, that was kind of a shock to me because there were certain classes that I had to take as prerequisites that as I didn't plan ahead, which was number one. Get your prerequisites done at Lake-Sumter, because when you go to the college level, those prerequisite classes are, hundreds to 200 students. And like, I think I had one class where my professor was like, I literally don't have time to answer questions for all of you, so you'll have to ask the TA first. And I totally understand it. If she had, 200 students in her email every day asking questions, she probably wouldn't be able to continue research in her lab or anything like that. So it's definitely an adjustment. Um, if you want to get close to professors, I recommend taking smaller classes. And the best way to do that, especially at the prerequisite level, is to do it at Lake-Sumter because those classes are just inherently smaller.
What opportunities did you take advantage of while you were at UCF? Any student organizations? Were there specific offices or departments? Were there experiential learning opportunities that you connected to? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so actually at UCF, I was really fortunate to be involved in research on campus. So as a biology major, I ended up taking some classes that like just personally interested me. They offer such a broad variety of subjects, and so you kind of have to pick and choose what you want to learn. And so I took classes that interested me, and I did really well in them. And that made me connections with professors that ended up landing me a research position in a lab on campus. So I've been fortunate enough, I've been working on research on campus for about 2.5 years now. And I do, specifically, I do genomics research on lionfish in the Indian River Lagoon. But aside from the research part of it, I have also been involved in several programs, including, Tau Sigma, which I think is the Honors Transfer Society at UCF, as well as I was a transfer advisory peer, which is a small group of students, specifically in the biology department right now. They haven't expanded it beyond, but it's a group of students that were transfers like me, helping out new transfer students that came in, and being like a one-on-one mentor. Like I would go and sit down and have coffee with somebody and talk about like what classes they were going to take next semester, and what they should expect from them, that kind of thing. Well, I see somebody has a question about Chi Lee asks, do you recommend joining sororities or fraternities? So personally, I was not involved in a sorority or fraternity on campus other than the honor society that I was a part of, which I don't know if that could be considered a sorority or a fraternity. I guess technically Tau Sigma is a I think a co-ed sorority or something. But I didn't have that kind of experience on campus. But I do know some people who did, and they said they really enjoyed it. So if that's your cup of tea, if you like really socializing and getting that big group of friends and having that like family style experience on campus, then that might be for you.
All right, thank you. I'm just wondering, what are they like very expensive in your opinion?
The sororities and stuff.
Yes.
So it depends. I know some are like more tight-knit communities in your major, and I know that their fees can be a little bit less. But if you're more going for that broad, big sorority experience, sometimes it can be a little more expensive. I think that they have like financial aid for a bunch of those though. So
All right, thank you.
yeah, no problem.
Great questions so far. Anyone else have anything specific that they want to know about?
Hi. When it came to you transferring, like obviously you transferred to university, but like, how did it feel like academically wise? Did you feel like you were prepared going to Lake Sumner, or did you feel like you were overwhelmed transferring to university, like the load?
So when I transferred from Lake-Sumter to UCF, I actually went from pretty much like a part-time student to a full-time student at UCF. And so I'm not sure if my experience was jarring because I went from mostly part-time straight to full-time university experience, but I did find that there was definitely a little bit of like a culture shock, like a little bit different than what I was expecting. I definitely think that the transfer shock and everybody telling me that was going to happen really helped me prepare to be shocked. But it really didn't prepare me for things like just showing up to a class and like you get there the day that the class starts, the time it starts, the whole hall is filled with people. You can't find a single place to sit because the only place left is like in the middle of the crowd. So definitely get to your classes early. And just do the best you can, and be excited to be there. Like when I felt like I had the greatest hold on things when I felt excited and like motivated to get into it.
Thank
So
you.
Yeah.
there's a question, does the Direct Connect guide you throughout your college experience? So not just initially with the transition, but were you able to still utilize that office once you were already there at UCF? Or was there a different office that you then
So as for the Direct Connect experience, personally, I didn't utilize many of the resources after I transferred because I got connected with an advisor on campus who was really great, and she helped me along the way. And I feel like the university deals with so many transfers that those regular academic advisors are very prepared to help you. But if you're ever worried about it, I do believe there is the Direct Connect office and all that, and they can absolutely assist you as well.
Delicia, was there a specific concern that you may feel like you would want to continue to use Direct Connect, or is there a situation specifically?
Sorry. Maybe through you were talking about research, since I was seeing some of the flyers for the program had said that throughout like year 1, year 2, and year 3, they kind of set you up to go into the workforce. So kind of like job shadowing and internships. Oh, sorry. So I was asking if it was any help academically and career related wise.
So personally, I didn't find any of my research opportunities or anything like that through the Direct Connect office itself, because I feel like a majority of those connections are established between like a professor to student basis. So when you take that person's class, they'll see interest in you, that kind of thing. I do know that there are professors that advertise for research positions. Usually they do it on like a flyer next to the elevator in the building that their class is in, that kind of thing. But I'm sure there are some experiences through Direct Connect too that they can help you with. But it's really about establishing that professor-student relationship, taking classes that you're interested in. If you are really interested in that kind of a subject, like whatever field you decide to go into, if you're passionate and you show that you care about it, I think that the professors will absolutely see that. Mm-hmm.
The Direct Connect is mainly there to help you connect to those offices and resources at the university. So they're kind of like that liaison between Lake-Sumter and who's the right office you should go to. So a lot of universities may have a whole separate department that works with undergraduate research, if that's a specific area. Or if it's biomedical science, I think they may have an office. And of course, they talk about research areas. So I know it's kind of hard to conceptualize because we do things differently here at Lake-Sumter, but at a larger university, there may be a whole office that deals with that very specific thing that you're interested in. So the Direct Connect, they are there to help connect you so you know who then to go to once you're on that campus. So I don't know if that helps you, Delicia, kind of conceptualize the purpose of Direct Connect. And I know, for example, there was like a research information session. And so it might be listed on the Direct Connect site, but if you were to attend that session, you will notice what college or what program or what office that offered that session. And then that's who you want to connect to. But did you have something specific?
No, I was just saying that helped very much.
Great. Other questions that you guys may have? Bethany, did you have a question?
I guess I want to know, was there anything that really surprised you? Whether that was when you first transferred or whether that was, leading up to graduation. What was one thing that you were just really surprised by?
One word, traffic. It's so busy. If you're going to UCF, that entire area it's a city. It's like when classes are in session, it's like Orlando, like downtown Orlando. There's so many people there. Like, you ever been to Disney World on a busy day? Sometimes when you're walking through the hallways, there's just people everywhere. And I don't know how that is anymore with the COVID culture now, but because I graduated right after the school closed down. So I've been back on campus, but I haven't seen that kind of traffic anymore. However, I still have trouble parking. So I guess it hasn't, gone away completely. But my biggest tips is if you're going to the University of Central Florida, make sure to get there before like 10 a.m. Like, even if you have a class at like noon, get there before 10 a.m., find a good parking spot, and then go to like the student union or the library or there's many buildings, and they're all really beautiful. A lot of them have like little like places you can sit, and even if you just go a little early and explore campus, if you have the time, you can find those really cool places that you can just sit and chill, and you'll have a great parking spot, and you'll be able to get to class on time every time and have time to study. It's great. Get a snack. There's lots of food on campus.
If you had to go back knowing what you know now, is there anything you would do differently while you were here at Lake-Sumter that you felt like could have possibly prepared you differently, or you would have connected maybe sooner if you had known? Is there anything going back that you would suggest?
So I guess the biggest thing I would suggest is to kind of just trust your gut. Like, if there's something you really enjoy doing, I would advise that you would probably want to pursue that, because when I started at UCF, I started thinking that I was going to be a pre-med major. And then when I saw what kind of classes they offered, I really got into the animal side of things and the conservation aspects. And it's totally okay to change your mind a little bit along the way. Fortunately, I was going from pre-med biology to regular biology, so a lot of the classes, they made sense together. And in the end, I even started doing research in biology in a conservation field that used like medical technologies. So I used like pipettes and centrifuges and, that high tech, expensive medical equipment for genomics testing, but the same stuff they use on, humans. And so like the being prepared is really important, and going for what you enjoy is really important, because if you don't love what you're doing, it's going to be hard for professors to see that in you. And like, especially if you want to get into research, if you really don't have that passion, it's going to be difficult. But just keep on working for it and it'll work out.
A lot of great questions. Thank you so much, Katherine. I hope our students are learning a lot. Any final questions before we wrap up? We are almost out of time. Bethany, did you have any other final questions?
I do not.
Okay. So any final thoughts, Katherine, that you would like to share with our students in regards to your experience transferring to UCF?
Probably the biggest thing is just have fun. Take classes that you're interested in. Join those clubs that you're interested in. You're never going to know until you try. I was always so hesitant, especially my freshman year, because it seemed like everybody had their own little clique going. They already had all their friends because they'd been here since freshman year. But if you really take a look around, you'll notice that the majority of the people who are there are also in the same position as you are. And so when you make those connections and you talk to people and you really get into it, you'll quickly find, your group of people, and you'll find, people to study with and people to hang out with on the weekends. And it's a really great experience overall. And I'm really glad that I was able to do the Direct Connect experience from Lake-Sumter.